Hello, LGBTQ reboos. Today we are reading a Shinsou X reader. I will tell you the person who made this later after I read this. But this one is called Valentine. Let's get on with it. Everyone in general studies, and even before you had made it into UA, was afraid of him. They were afraid he was going to use his quirk on them, that he was going to control them and make them do whatever he wanted. And thought for sure that his quirk was better suited for a villain than it was for a hero, which made everything a lot worse, except for her. You had known Shinsou only since the beginning of the year, due to being in the same class. Yet you had never treated him like anything else, anything less than a friend, even despite his quirk, and what everyone knew he could do. You talked to him in class, trained with him, sat with him at lunch, and hung out with him after school. You two were nearly inseparable. So when Valentine's Day came around, you watched as many of the girls in your class gave chocolates to every boy, which were friendship, obligation chocolate, or a chocolate that symbolized your own love, except for Shinsou. Everyone was clearly ignoring and avoiding him, which made you angry with your whole class. Just because he could control Maya doesn't mean that he would. That doesn't mean that he's better suited to be a villain either. Shinsou, you called his name as you skipped over to his desk, where he sat, with his head pressed into the wood, his wild purple hair nearly splayed out everywhere. He hummed, letting you know that he heard you. I see that everyone is being the opposite of yesterday, treating people disrespectfully. Gosh, how pathetic. You said to him, but kept your voice loud in order for you to be heard by the class. Some people actually stopped and looked at both of you, glancing at the chocolates they were handing out to the class before quickly looking away, maybe feeling a sense of guilt and shame for their actions. It doesn't matter. This day is always the same, Shinsou mumbled with a sigh. Not lifting his head from the desk. Well, I hope this changes it. I made you, and only you, chocolates, you said, placing a heart-shaped box with homemade chocolates on his desk by his head. What? He asked as he shot up his head from his desk and looked between you and the chocolate in front of him. I made you some chocolate because you're my hero and I appreciate you. You said with a small smile, a rosy blush dusting your cheeks. You're a hero? Shinsou stuttered. A crimson blush covered his cheeks. He tried covering his face with his arms and leaned in his chair a bit, but you could still tell that he was still blushing. Of course you're my hero. A very cute one at that. You giggled as you could visibly see that his blush darkened at your words. Come on, we have time before class begins. Let's go for a walk, you said, pulling on his arm until he stood up and followed you out of the class. You both walked in silence at the beginning until you finally spoke up. I was being serious, Shinsou. You're a hero. You're my hero. And someday everyone will see you for who you actually are, you said, stopping him and staring into his tired purple eyes so he could see how serious you were. I wasn't lucky enough to get a heroic quirk, though, he sighed, glancing away from you. That doesn't matter, you say with your quirk. Isn't hero? You say that it doesn't matter. You say your quirk isn't heroic, but it is. It might not help you fight like Midoriya in 1A, or shoot off explosions like that hothead guy also from 1A, but your quirk is important too. You say, sir, whatever that says, grabbing onto his shoulders and shaking him, trying to get the words you're saying to sink into him somehow. How? Why do you care so much? Shinsou asked with a sigh. How? You could help the police force so much by getting every criminal to just tell you whether they did it or not. You could stop villains easily because nearly every villain says something before they do something. and so much more. You're so important. And why do I care so much? It's because I'm your friend. And I've seen what you can do and who you are. And it's because I love you, idiot. You're nearly yelling at him at this point. You love me? He asks, his purple eyes widen in shock. I do. You nodded, a blush spread across your neck and ears. Well, now your feelings were out. In the open. At least you managed to accomplish something today. You pulled away from him, and if you ask why, I swear, you begin raising your hand to point at your finger that he just cut you off. That's good, because I love you too. He stated, a chest-out grin spread across his lips. You do? It was your turn to question. He nodded, grabbing the hand that you were using to point at him and holding it in his own. For a while. I just thought you'd like someone who was in the hero course or something. But I'm glad it's me, he said. Looks like I'm not as unlucky as I thought, he chuckled softly. No, you're not unlucky in anything. And someday, you'll get into the hero course too, he said, wrapping your arms around him and pulling him to a hug, which he returned with a content sigh. Thank you for always being there for me, and for pushing me forward. Let's get into the hero course together, okay? He asked, smiling softly. Yeah, you agreed, and although it would take a lot of hard work and effort from the both of you, you were determined to see your goals come true someday. And they did. Eventually, by your year 3, you both had gotten accepted into the hero course, 3B. It might not have been the most popular class of 3A, but it was still the hero course, and you were determined to continue to push forward together. Oh my god, that was actually kind of cute. Oh my god. Okay, that's the end. That's amazing. Okay. That was by Tie-Dye 1290 on Wattpad. I'll put the link in the description because that was so cute. Oh my god. Remember guys, I'm still taking requests, so if you want to go in the comments and give me a request, I would gladly do so. Well, I would gladly read a fanfiction for you. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Oh my god, I enjoyed it too much. That's so cute. But whatever. See you later or tomorrow or whenever. Bye by LGBTQ reviews, if so.